Welcome to the Eat for Endurance podcast, where we explore the connection between nutrition, performance, and health for busy, active people. I'm Claire Shorenstein, a sports dietitian and endurance athlete, and in every episode, I share evidence-based guidance, inspiring athlete stories, and practical tips on a wide variety of nutrition topics so that you can fuel better, crush your endurance goals, and thrive as a human being. As you will soon hear, my voice was not 100% the day I recorded this episode. I had a little bit of a laryngitis situation, but hopefully you'll stick with me because I am thrilled to welcome Lindsey Hein to the show. Lindsey is the founder of SandyBoy Productions, host of the podcast I'll Have Another, and co-host of the Relay podcast. She's also a longtime distance runner, a certified running coach, race announcer, and mom of 4 young boys. In today's conversation, we talk about her journey through running, big physical and emotional transitions, including a preventative double mastectomy and hysterectomy, and birthing 4 children, the challenges of feeding a busy, active family of 6, how her own nutrition has evolved over the years, and too many great non-nutrition related tangents to count. This was such a fun and relatable episode, especially if you are a parent or caregiver, but there's something in here for everybody. Before we dive in, I have 2 quick announcements. First, I got a new review and wanted to share it with you all. KSV65 wrote, quote, "Really enjoying Claire's show. She shares lots of good information that has helped me as I'm training for a half marathon. It's been over 15 years since I did one, and the nutrition information available now can be overwhelming. It's so great to learn from Claire." Well, I am really happy you're here and that you've been enjoying the show. If you'd like to leave a 5-star rating and review as well, I would be so grateful. And second announcement, my brand new stickers have arrived and they are on sale over at eatforendurance.com on the shop page, and all proceeds go towards my podcast expenses. The Ultimate Fueling Sticker Pack comes with 6 colorful designs in different shapes and sizes, including Make Carbs Great Again, Friends Don't Let Friends Under Fuel, Bagels Are My Spirit Animal, Fueled for Adventure, Carbs Are My Love Language, and the Eat for Endurance podcast logo. They are perfect for your water bottle, laptop, or wherever you want to celebrate fueling, carbs, and the active lifestyle you all live. Go grab the pack or a single sticker over at the eatforendurance.com shop page. And while you're there, I have just a few Eat for Endurance Boco Trucker hats left. Buy a gift for yourself or for another athlete in your life. All right, here is my chat with Lindsey Hein. Lindsey, welcome to the Eat for Endurance podcast. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so I like to start these interviews by digging into your nutrition roots. So I'd love to hear a little bit about growing up and, including where you're from and, maybe some memories you have surrounding, meal times or food generally as a kid.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I've never been asked this question. So this is interesting to talk about because I grew up in a family that did not eat meals together at all. It was always a free for all. It was always just like grab and go. And it's so interesting now because like my husband grew up with a family where they ate dinner every single night together. And I think that I always want to be careful how I talk about it, but like, I think that my mom has probably always had some like issues with food. And I don't know if that is part of the reason, but I just remember being a kid and being like, I just want to sit down together. Like I desperately wanted that. And I had a best friend in middle school and like, I don't know, maybe it was once a week. It was maybe feels more frequent than it actually was. But like, I always remember being so excited when I got to go eat dinner at her house and like, they would all sit down and like pass the rolls and,
Yeah. Family style. Yeah.
But I started running when I was 15 and I did become interested in nutrition. I actually went to college for dietetics.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know that about you. Okay.
Yeah, which is sort of random. But I was not a good student and I did not get a dietetic internship. And like I took organic chemistry 3 times.
Dude, that course is the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah. And I just I have a creative mind, but I have a really hard time focusing. And I just could never figure school out. I just never could. So anyway, instead of going back and like trying to keep retaking classes and reapplying for internships, I kind of just moved on with going a different way with my career path, which is interesting now based on what I do. You would think that I would be in like, I would have majored in like communications or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm interested in it. I would say I'm haphazard still with the dinner stuff here at our house and our family because I just struggle with it because I wasn't brought up doing it that way, you know?
That's so interesting. I mean, we're going to put a pin in the dietetics part because I definitely want to explore all that stuff. But going back to childhood, yeah, I mean, you mentioned your mom, but so were you, I mean, was someone cooking for you? Were you kind of throwing things together yourself? Like, why do you think was what was going on there? Like, do you have siblings? Like, what was the dynamic? Like, do you remember the types of foods you would eat, like when you're younger, even before cross country?
Macaroni and cheese, instant mashed potatoes, like all of that. I have two sisters. I'm in the middle. So my older sister's 2 years older than me. My younger sister is 3 years younger than me. Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, like just very much, nothing was like made very formally, I guess. And so a lot of times we were doing that, or my mom would just make something super simple like hot dogs or things like that. But yeah, I think that looking back, I'm like, oh, that's why I'm not a very good cook now.
Did your dad ever do anything or cook anything? No.
My dad, he owned his own business, like a roofing business. And so he traveled a lot and worked really long hours. He would oftentimes be on the road, like roofing McDonald's, down the highway, down from Indiana to Florida. And just very, very, very busy with that. And then he didn't sit down for dinner with us. My parents were married, but nothing ever felt super traditional. Like we would go to church and my mom would just come with us and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I do remember when I ran cross country, my favorite meal my mom would make, which was not very often, she would make fettuccine, and she would make homemade Alfredo sauce and broccoli. And
that sounds yummy.
Just loaded that up with salt, and I loved it so much. That was like my favorite thing that she made. I would beg for that. So yeah, she would like steam veggies. I do remember we had like a vegetable steamer, and she would steam veggies in that. But everything was very like just you sit down and you grab your food. And I don't ever remember sitting around the table together ever. Not one time.
Yeah.
Not wild.
So it is pretty wild. And obviously like you weren't starving. Like you had, sounds like you ate, there was food around, you were like accessing things. But it's like so many of the clients I work with, we do often visit. This is why I often start here when I'm working, like doing these athlete nutrition profiles, because so much of our upbringing and how, whether it's role modeling with parents or other adults in our life or siblings or what was provided or whatever it may be, like that does color things later on. And not to say that like you're always going to be stuck there, but certainly like when I have people who are really struggling with body or food or whatever, like, we can often kind of connect the dots back to like, where did this start for you? Not to say it's always something like that. Like sometimes it's just, something else entirely. Or it's someone, I don't know, it's something a coach said or a friend or something you read or, so it's not to say it's always family related, but I always think it's really interesting to kind of like explore where people are coming from and how that influences things later, so.
Yeah, you remember things. Yeah, like even like one thing that somebody says like just sticks with you. Like
100%.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've had lots of guests talk to me about how someone said something and like it kind of colored the whole path of their nutrition for 10 years or something like that. And then suddenly they're like, oh my God, and they have this moment, they're later like, what the heck is going on? But I definitely want to talk about feeding your family and parenthood and all that. I want to do a little bit later, but that's definitely going to be something I'm going to talk about because I imagine that kind of coming from that. I mean, I'm actually not surprised in some ways that you were interested in nutrition, right?
Oh, right.
We get a lot of people. We get a lot of people, I feel like in the dietetics field who are entering because of their own nutrition struggles or whether it's like a disordered eating ED type of thing, or maybe it's like, I had no upbringing with this, I want to learn more, or like whatever the case may be. So, it's kind of like therapists are often the ones who enter who like need therapy or whatever, right? So
totally.
So
I remember being in dietetics classes, looking around thinking, how many of these women have eating disorders? Because I do feel like it's a very common thing that people go into the profession because they want to know everything. And it's like,
or people with histories of something, or
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
I did, my sister had a pretty severe eating disorder growing up. My older sister,
Okay.
it went to some intensive therapy for that.
Mm,
And, honestly, to this day, I don't know that my mom ever, like, it's almost like it didn't even happen, like
mm,
there's a lot there. But,
mm,
I personally never really struggled with it. I mean, I think I've always said that I think part of the reason I haven't struggled too much with food issues is because I've always been so active. So I always have that to fall back on. And I know I'm going to
mm,
get my workouts in. And so, like, I kind of like maintain this, like, what I view as a healthy feeling body
mhm,
through
mhm,
exercise,
mhm.
which allows me to be flexible with what I eat.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, though, your body has been through like a million huge changes
For
over
sure.
like, which again we'll get into. But so I think sometimes there are certain things where it's like even when you're exercising, your body's still changing. So it's like, can you be flexible enough and comfortable enough with your body to kind of accept those changes? You know what I mean? And I think that's where sometimes the food part enters, whether it's,
Totally.
for in your case, you had multiple surgeries or obviously giving birth 4 times. I mean, Jesus, that's a lot. That's some physical trauma on your body, like all of those things, right? So, and it leads to change, or whether someone's going through perimenopause, postmenopause, there are all these different things, or men too, we're not just talking women here. There's so many changes that can happen. And so even if people stay active, this is where people often get into trouble because they're like, well, I'm doing the same thing I've been doing for years and it's not working anymore. I have to then cut back on food, and that often makes the problem worse. And, so yeah, it's tricky when it's like, okay, I'm not to say this is your case, but in some people's cases, it's like, oh, I feel comfortable. Everything's great. But then what happens when you can't exercise anymore? What happens if that's not
Right.
working anymore? And that's where sometimes things start to bubble up that maybe you didn't have to deal with in the past. And it's like, for a lot of people, their identities are so closely tied to, I look this way, or I'm roughly this weight, or I'm an athlete who does this. And so whenever, if you get injured or if whatever is happening to disrupt that sense of identity, that can be really tricky for people.
I mean, yes. I will tell you right now, I don't know what I was looking for. I was looking for pictures to share for, I don't know if it was an anniversary or something, and I got into
Mhm.
this hole looking at old pictures, and I'm like, I'm a good 10, 15 pounds heavier than I was when I was from when those pictures were. And I mean, this has been an acceptance thing for me. I used to run a lot more. I was younger. I had my ovaries, like all these things. And like, though I still work out 6 days a week, I'm not working out as much as I was. And I'm older and my body has changed. So, like, there's a big acceptance that I've been working on with this. Like, knowing, like, hey, listen, you're paying attention to what you're putting into your body. You're very flexible with it, but like, you're not overeating to extreme amounts, things like that. And you're working out pretty much 6 days a week. So, like, this is probably where your natural 42-year-old body is supposed to be. Like, you're living an active lifestyle. But it is kind of hard because I look back at those pictures and I know women who are like so dialed in and obsessed with how much protein they eat and, not eating this and like wouldn't touch a piece of bread. And I'm like, I don't want to live like that. That is not a fun way to live. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm an Enneagram 7 and I need things to be fun.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. I mean, I was just about to say, like, what kind of life is it to, if you're just so like, I mean, I wouldn't even call that dialed in. I would call that heavily restrictive and
Yeah.
disordered, right?
Yeah,
So,
for sure. For sure.
that's not living life. There are far more important things than being the same size your whole life. And that's not a realistic expectation for anybody. Like, that shouldn't be an expectation placed on
Right.
anyone. We're
Right.
meant to change in every which way, emotionally, physically, all the things, right? So, and while I understand, not to say it's easy, Like acceptance is not easy,
It's
but
not.
we are meant to go through these changes. Our priorities are meant to change.
Yes.
Like I know for you, and again, these are all things I want to get and to kind of dive into a little bit more, and especially through the nutrition angle. But I know you used to run a lot. You've run 17 marathons. You were super active, very competitive with yourself and all of that. I too was like that for a long time. And not to say it's because of having children. It's just like kind of like, I mean, I did some of that while having kids, much like you. I'm just kind of in this season of life right now where it's just not my priority or my desire. Like, I just don't really care about like PRs are long gone. Like that I stopped caring about a million years ago. But not to say like no judgment. If anyone listening is like, I'm all about the PR, dude, you do you.
Go for it.
Go for it. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of just also recognizing what your priority is, what's the most important thing to you, and what you enjoy. Because especially when, you are a parent or caregiver or busy with work, you have all these things. I mean, adulting is freaking hard. We're handling all of these things. If you have aging parents, like, all the stuff happening in life. And it's like, maybe you don't need to stress out about your weight so much. Like, how about we like find some joy? Like, what makes you happy? Like, what do you enjoy eating? Like, there's just so much more to it,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I do miss the days of running a lot like that.
Yes.
I miss the feeling.
Sometimes.
I also know that like if I go run 17 miles, like, man, that just takes so much more out of me than it used to. And my body injury wise just doesn't hold like it used to as far as that stuff goes. So I have found like so much joy in doing so many other forms of movement for my body. And also just being like, okay, like back in the amount of soccer practice driving I'm doing right now, like I'm about to lose my mind. Like I got to figure this out. But when I'm at the soccer fields, like in the past, I would be like, well, if I'm going to be here, like I might as well get a run in. And, but now I'm like, I can go walk 4 miles. And like, that's still really great. Like I'm still moving my body. But before wouldn't have felt like a real, like,
I was just telling a friend of mine, I was like, I'm in the season of life where walking is exercise. And and here's the thing. It's always been exercise.
I know.
It has always been exercise.
I know.
However, back when I was like, I remember being pregnant with my girls, and it was like, oh, well, this is the only case where walking is exercise because I'm so pregnant that I cannot run right now. And it's like, that's total BS. Okay. I'm like now going for like, I don't just walk on a rest day. I'm like, you know what? Like I've gotten this mindset where I'm like, I can go for 45-minute, 60-minute walk on the beach. And like, I feel like I just did a workout. And that's just fine. That's where I'm at right now. You know what? And who the hell cares? Walking is great for you. So good. We don't have to be exercise snobs about it. Cause like, I know. I'm sure you felt this way too, where it's like, oh, I have to sweat. I have to work really hard.
Yeah. I know. I remember the days where like that wouldn't have even like, been a workout at all.
That's a rest day.
I wouldn't even consider that's a rest day. No, I would do my workout and then I'd be like, yes, friend, I will come meet you and walk 5 miles with you after I've done my workout.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm always asking people, like any of my clients, because we do kind of an assessment of what their total exercise across the week. So I want to make sure we're supporting them through nutrition, right? And it's just always funny to see the things that come out. And it's like, I'm like, and I've always asked, do you have pets? Are you walking dogs? Are you commuting to work? Like on a bike? Like what's going on? And it's like, oh yes, and on a rest day, I climbed a mountain with a weighted vest. I'm like, come on. Can you like not do that?
You not call that a rest day? Oh my gosh, weighted vest. Do you have one?
So I don't, but I know you're a huge fan, and we have to talk about the whole Holderness family video you were recently in.
Yes.
Because I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing in this video? Do you know them? And you're like, they're my neighbors. I'm like, okay, we gotta have some goss around this now.
I know. Well, I do. My husband and I both have the weighted vest, which has been great because we actually have both been struggling with Achilles injuries. And so he's like hardcore weighted vest. He wears like, I think he's up to 30 pounds now in his weighted vest.
Okay.
And he's always been like run an hour a day. Like once he moved on from competitive, like in his own way marathons, every day I just run for an hour. So now it's every day I walk with my weighted vest that has 30 pounds in it for an hour. Mine has 12 pounds.
Okay.
And I don't do more than like 3 or 4 miles in it usually. I don't like love it, honestly, but I do feel like I'm getting more bang for my buck for my 45-minute walk,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're neighbors with them, and
So
they
funny.
were doing like a spoof video on weighted vests, and she asked me if I wanted to be in it, and I was like, yeah. And then I realized when I got there, she actually asked my husband and I, and we got there, they were doing choreography, and I was like, oh, well, good thing I said no for Glenn. That's my husband. He was in the office that day. I was like,
Yeah.
because if he would have walked up and seen that we were doing choreography, he would have just started walking home immediately.
It was a hilarious spoof. I love their stuff. It's so funny.
It was
It's so
good.
funny.
It was fun too, because I see them working on videos all the time, but to actually like be there and in it and see his brain work and like figure out we're going to do this now and this now. And they did have someone doing the choreography from like a dance studio that
Oh,
she
wow.
goes to.
Nice.
Yeah, but like it was interesting to see them in their like, okay, have their work hats on, you know?
Yeah. And because like I've watched a bunch of their stuff and it's like always like out in the neighborhood. I mean, sometimes they're in their house, but there's a lot of things like out in the neighborhood. And so,
Oh yeah. Our house is like in their videos sometimes.
Oh,
Like,
that's so funny.
yeah. It's funny. They're really, really nice people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they are. They seem cool. They seem like people I would want to know. So that's awesome. But no, I was like, I think my husband sent me that video and I was looking, I was like, wait a minute, that's Lindsey Hein. What is she doing there?
So many people messaged me. They were like, is that you? And I'm like, yes, that is me.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, you guys can give that a watch. It was pretty hysterical.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have so many questions that I want to go back to. We got like on a major. I love these conversations because like I have things I want to ask, obviously, but I like to just let them flow and see where they go. But
yeah, and I
do have some
scattered my answers a little bit.
No, I love it. This is all stuff I wanted to talk about, anyways. But I want to kind of go back for a minute because we were talking about growing up and kind of nutrition roots and all that stuff, and you pursuing nutrition in college, essentially.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess I want to spend just a really brief moment on cross country running, high school nutrition, because, okay, we got the fettuccine dinner, fine.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm sure you were competitive. I don't know if you ran in college at all. Did you run in college or no? No.
No, I mean, I probably could have like walked on somewhere and like, not been on the A team or something, or definitely could have gone like D3 and, gotten a lot better, but I wasn't very good. I just, I always ran on varsity in high school, but like, I wasn't like, I was usually like anywhere between like the 3rd to 7th runner on the team. I was never like, Yeah,
I mean, I was wondering if like nutrition affecting performance or how you ran, like, was that even on your radar at all?
No.
Like when you were younger? No. Yeah. I mean, that's most people around our age is like, that was never thought of. When did you start to think about like nutrition for performance or health or having any kind of impact other than like, oh, it's time to eat now? Like when did that kind of enter your mind, do you think?
I don't really think I ever super focused on it. Like, I think I just always knew I needed to be fed, And in high school, like when I was running, I was always well fed. I was always, I just ate when I was hungry. But yeah, I don't think I ever like, I've never been one to like obsess on it. I'm like, and even today when I feed my kids, like I'm like, they need like when people are starting to freak out, I'm like, they need calories in their body. Like at this moment in time when you're having a meltdown, I don't care what it is, but you need that blood sugar raised. But yeah, I think I've always just like tried to be sensible about it and eat things that like make me feel good and don't upset my stomach. But yeah, I will say like I've never been one to like super dial in and like focus on it. I just focus on making sure I'm eating vegetables and fruits and trying to get protein. And I do love carbs, like love them.
Good. You need them.
Yes. With the obsession with protein these days, though, I'm like, I need more protein. I actually just listened to the episode on the Daily that was talking about America's obsession.
Oh, I saw that. I haven't listened yet, but a friend of mine sent it. Okay. Yeah. No, a friend sent it to me and I was like, okay, yes. I told her, I was like, literally every single week I'm talking to clients about how they're eating too much protein and there's not enough carbs.
Wow.
I'm telling you, the number of women, middle-aged women I have, because everyone's so freaked out now.
Oh,
The
I
number of
know.
middle-aged women I've gotten who maybe they read Stacey Sims' book and they're like, I need to have like a crazy amount of and they like go from like 0 to 100 with their
Uh-huh.
protein intake, and they get
Uh-huh.
so messed up. Their gut,
Uh-huh.
like everything just gets messed up. Or they're like, yeah, they're prioritizing protein to the point where they are not hungry for anything else,
Yeah.
you know? And so this is a frequent conversation to have. I'm like, you are over consuming protein, under consuming carbohydrate, under consuming calories, total calories for your activity needs. Fat is usually hit or miss, depends on what's going on. And so not to say like not every single person I see is like, I do occasionally get people who are not getting enough protein, rarely these days. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, so I was a vegetarian for a really long time. I don't know if you knew that
What
about me.
prompted that?
Well, I was actually starting in 5th grade. I became a vegetarian.
Why?
I don't know. I was just like, well, my mom was a vegetarian. My mom still is a vegetarian.
Okay.
And I was just started to get like grossed out by meat. Like we dissected frogs in 5th grade, and I was just
I hated that.
And like somebody said that was like same thing as like a chicken leg or something. And I was like, I'm not eating meat. So I didn't eat meat from like 5th grade until I was like 18. And then when I went to college, I started eating meat again. And then when I had my mastectomy, my preventative mastectomy, when I was 30, somebody brought us this dish that had like beef in it, and it like upset my husband and I, both of us, it upset our stomach a little bit. Like not crazy, but we were just like both kind of grossed out. And he was like, I think I could go vegetarian. And I'm
interesting.
like, and I said, okay, well, if you're going vegetarian, I'm going vegetarian. Like I don't even have to think about it. I don't really care about meat anyway. So then we were vegetarian for the next like 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we started eating meat again. Like really, we started eating fish again about like 3 years ago. And now we're eating just meat in general. Like we still probably eat less meat than most people, like the average American. But my body, I just started craving it. Like I just started really wanting that form of protein, I think. I wasn't feeling like satisfied or like satiated or whatever by what I was having. So yeah, now we're eating meat. And I can't say I feel much different, to be honest.
Yeah. Were your kids vegetarian too, or were you cooking like everything for them?
Yeah, no, they weren't vegetarian, but we we would take them to Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. But like they would eat a lot of vegetarian meals.
Yeah.
And now that our boys are bigger and like super, they're super into sports and stuff, that was another reason I'm like, I got to get these kids some more meat. Like these boys they need to be full, and I was just wanted to make sure that they were getting more. So we still have kind of hodgepodgey dinners though. Like I try to make a meal, or my husband tries to make a meal for the family, but a lot of times like my number 3 of the 4 will not touch anything we make. And so he's eating peanut butter and jelly at dinner. But my older
How old are your boys again?
13, 10, 8, and 6.
Okay.
7. He just turned 7.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. But my older 2 will eat what we make. My younger 2, it's a work in progress still.
It's hard. It's feeding the family is so hard. And even as a dietitian, I'm like, there's this kind of pressure I put in myself. Like I should have this all figured out, even though I'm not a pediatric dietitian, but still it's like, I should know what to do. And my youngest is impossible to feed. She has like all kinds of sensory things and is just very, very selective eater. And my oldest eats a little bit more, but still it's hard. And I always am telling myself, I will not be making, 3 dinners
multiple
tonight.
Meals.
And it's like, here I am again, my youngest having chicken nuggets every single night because that's what she'll eat. And
I know. We do a lot of chicken nuggets here. Because I get to the point where I'm like, I just got to get food in their body.
I know. And so, yeah, it's really hard. So, yeah, if anyone else is listening is struggling, you're not alone.
Yeah. And like the things that we want to eat, like if I want to eat like a big salad with salmon and all these vegetables, like,
or spicy things.
I kind of get
complex
it.
flavors.
Like, I wouldn't have wanted to eat that as a kid either. One thing a while back someone had said is like, well, just like make things for yourself that you can pick apart that they can, like, oh, if there's strawberries in their salads, they have the strawberries and that kind of stuff. So I try to do that a little bit, but regardless, my number 3, he's always going to end up with a peanut butter and jelly and chicken nuggets. And maybe one day he'll like avocados. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. My younger one will always have chicken nuggets, mac and cheese. So we branched out a little bit to quesadilla that she doesn't always eat, and fruit. And then, so I try to keep the fruit consistent for all of us. And if my older one, Ariel, will eat like the same protein or I just kind of keep things separate. There's a lot of pasta, a lot more of certain things that, I love pasta, but I feel like I didn't used to have it so regularly until I had kids.
It's the easiest thing. Yeah.
It's just the easiest thing. Or like, taco bowls and things like make your own bowl, make your own whatever, is pretty much a standard in our house where, we did like a soba noodle situation, which again, my oldest was complaining, but I'm like, you know what? It's noodles, eat it.
Well, I'm kind of like, you all have to eat every day, 3 meals and snacks. So like, it's not all going to be exactly what you want it to be, even though that's what they have in their minds.
Yeah. And my current struggle right now is like, I don't know if your kids eat school lunch or whatever. I mean, at our school, it's actually provided for free. So it's like, that's great.
Well, if that were the case, my kids it would not be an option to not have school lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. My youngest won't touch school lunch. So I kind of have to pack, but half the time. So granted, this is like basically week 3? Oh God, I don't even know. Week 2, the second full week of kindergarten. So, transitions, but, she's half the time not even eating what I pack her because she's like, like literally she went all day and she had like a pouch and pretzels. I'm like, how are you like standing right now? Yeah. And then she's like a mess later. But my oldest one, she came yesterday or 2 days ago. And she's like, I'm starving. And she's like complaining to like a mom friend of mine as if I'm not feeding her or something. Right. And she gets home. She's like, I didn't eat lunch. I'm like, well, why didn't you eat lunch? Because I just pack her a few snacks and she eats hot lunch. I didn't like it. I'm like, well, that's your problem.
Right. Like there had to be something.
The grilled cheese was too cheesy and I hate corn dogs. I'm like, well, deal with it. Like, we all eat things. Like, I think this is another realization as an adult that I'm just like, actually as a kid too, I guess. It's like sometimes you eat things that you don't like and you just move on with your life. You just need to eat. Yeah, you just need to eat and like get on with it. And it's not going to be super exciting. I think sometimes I've had clients before who were, especially when they were had food struggles where it's like, oh, my calories are so limited. I have to love what I eat, or I have to be really, this has to be the perfect thing. And it's like, no, you just need to eat something and then get on with it. Like,
move on with your day.
Like, obviously it can be really boring. Like we want you to enjoy food. Obviously that's always the goal. But sometimes you're just gonna, I don't know. I'm sure someone has made like a big batch of something they didn't love. And you're like, oh God, I have to eat this. You don't want to waste food. And you're just like, I have to get through this. Yeah, I have to get through this thing I don't love. And so I'm like pushing my husband, like, okay, your turn. You got to eat this thing or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, I think, and I think these are lessons. I know we're talking about kids right now, but I think as adults, these are all things that we also need to like recognize in ourselves that like, we don't need to put pressure to like make the best thing or the most delicious thing. It's like, just throw something together if you have very little time, because what's most important, like the whole fed is best, that is across your lifespan. That is important for your entire life.
Right. I mean, right before this call, because I came home and I had like 15 minutes and I was like, I just scarfed a bunch of roasted vegetables from last night. And like, that is not what I wanted to eat. And then I had like 2 bites of a granola bar that was like not the granola bar I wanted. I wanted an RX bar, but we didn't have RX bars. And it was like one of those like Nature Valley protein bars. And I was like, well, this is really high sugar, whatever. But I was like, I can't just eat the vegetables. So I like had like half of one of those bars of vegetables. And then I'm going to eat like lunch when we get off the call. But I was like, none of this is fun for me. I don't want, this is not the food that I want, but this is the fastest thing I can grab. And it's going to do what it needs to do.
Yeah. So obviously it's hard to kind of teach our kids these lessons because they're just, my daughter is just like refusing to eat something she doesn't want to eat, both of them. But it kind of just, it's a great example of, you sometimes just need to kind of get over it and do that. I'm going to come back to the kind of feeding kids a little bit later, but I want to return to something you said. You're saying kind of like you never really paying attention to fueling earlier. You weren't like focusing on it too much. But I'm curious more from like a performance nutrition standpoint, because you've run like a million marathons.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious first, like what drew you to that distance, but also like what did fueling look like in those early years of racing? Because I know that you cared about your time. And, you know, at least now we know, obviously back then it wasn't as much of a thing, but it's certainly a thing now where you can't care about your time and not care about your nutrition. Like they do really. And I think it's pretty mainstream now. So I'm really curious about like how fueling for marathon, or I know you did I think, was it half Ironman or some sort of triathlon? Like you've done these endurance activities for so long, how that kind of has changed over the years for you as well.
I know. I so wish all of the like research and talking about how much fuel you can actually and should actually take on the marathon was happening when I was like running faster times, because
same.
I'm like, how much?
I know, right?
You know, like what else did I have in me? Yeah, there's a lot of feelings there. Just also like my peak marathoning years, I was having babies, and there's just like so much there. I'm like, oh, what else could I have done? But anyway, yeah, I mean, I had things dialed in, like, you know, if I'm going on a long run or running a marathon, I'm having peanut butter toast and banana for breakfast. Like that's just like the most basic, boring thing ever. But I was a fuel every 45 minutes girl, you know, like you take a gel every 45 minutes, and I just kind of like stuck to that. I just, whatever gel I had, I would take. It's funny though, because our very first marathon we ran, I say our because my husband ran it too, I would eat like granola bars on the run.
Oh gosh.
I felt like I was so hungry. I felt like the gels weren't enough substance for me. So like I literally brought a granola bar with me on my first marathon and like ate that.
Hey, I mean, if it works, although I would argue if you're hungry during a marathon, like, did you eat enough before?
Probably
like,
not.
It was probably something wrong with fueling plan before.
Totally, for sure.
But not to say it. Sometimes people get hungry and yeah,
and
I mean, if that works for you, cool.
Food.
Cool. I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
I stopped doing that because I started getting more serious about it, and like, and so then I would just do gels every 45 minutes pretty much. And that's what I did the whole time. I mean, I think now
for all 17.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, it doesn't help too that the instructions on a lot of these gel packets is like, take what gel every 45 minutes. It's like, I have a lot, like, depending on what gel we're talking about, we're feeling way more often, like 25 to 30 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. And some of them might have 20 grams of carbs. Some of them might have
40 or 50 or 60. Yeah, I know.
I mean, back in the day, I think it was pretty standard, like 20 to 25. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I wish I would have had the opportunity to fuel more. If I would have known. But yeah, that's what I always did. And then, it makes you think, man, what could I have done? But now when I coach runners, I recommend on long runs to start at like 40 minutes, just because I'm like, you don't want to like overload your gut. Right. And I do always recommend people like, hey, if you want to get really into the weeds in this, you need to go talk to a sports dietitian.
Yeah.
But, and then like, so if I recommend like every 40 minutes, and I'm like, then cut it down to 30 and do that. And when you practice and see how that goes over with your gut, so that when you run the marathon, you know, you can handle it. But, and then, yeah, I mean, like after I make big protein smoothies after big workouts and long runs. And I mean, I think I was always cognizant of like, hey, you just worked your body really hard. You got to get some really good food in your body. And like, I was dialed in on that for sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't count things or obsess over them.
Sure.
I would, I'll have like protein powder and be like, okay, 2 scoops is this. And I knew I needed a carb with it and some fat. And so, yeah. And I am the kind of person, I think most people probably are, like, I enjoy food more when I've had a nice big workout. Like it tastes better.
It just tastes better. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like a little more ravenous, and like, it's just more satisfying because you also have used your body. Like you've worked your body in a way that like requires really good refueling. And so, yeah, I would say it's been something I always pay attention to, but I've never like obsessed about.
Yeah. And
which is a gift, I think.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I know that or at least from what I gather, you're not doing any marathons or kind of big races right now, and maybe will at some point. But you are still, as you said, very active.
Yeah.
You kind of hop into some races here and there. I know you play lots of pickleball.
And I'm really if I could get my foot figured out.
What's wrong with your foot?
I've had Achilles issues, but I've rested it enough and done acupuncture and everything. I've had an MRI. I have a Hoglan's deformity, as well as bursitis, and it's the bursitis that like won't allow my Achilles to have a break. And so I trained myself to get running again like 3 days a week, and it was not happy with me. So now I'm backed off again. I would like to run another marathon and do, I always said I want to always be in like half marathon shape. I don't mean like half marathon racing shape, just like you can hop in anytime, jump in. Oh, a friend wants to break 2 hours. Let me just like jump in and run it with her. But I gotta get I probably need that surgery, like that hog.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't know if you know Kylie Van Horn. She's another sports dietitian. She just had. I don't know if you've seen. She had that surgery. So she had that surgery like almost a year ago, and it was successful. You should totally connect with her. I'll connect you guys.
It's like, God, I hate to have another surgery, but it's like, if that fixes my foot, because this is what I said to my friends the other day. At this point, I'm like, I want to be able to hop in and like run a good 5K with my kids, like. Oh,
Tina Muir also had that surgery. I think.
She had,
right?
She had like Achilles surgery.
Oh.
And I don't know if she might've got her Hoglan's fixed too.
Yeah. I think Kylie also had Achilles. Well, anyways, there are other runners. Yeah, it is. I mean, I've had some serious,
it's a lot of recovery, though, but yeah.
Well, anyways, are you running? Like, is it painful when you run at all, like all the time?
Like right now, I could go run like 2 miles, but then tomorrow I would be like hobbling around, like couldn't walk down my stairs.
Yeah.
I had built back up to like 3 days a week for like 3 weeks, and then my body was like, this isn't working. So I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like such a it's like, it's fine. It's like there's so many bad things, and this is not a huge deal, but I do want to run.
No, I mean, so I've been dealing with this on again, off again hip thing. So like after having my girls, I kind of took a break from anything long. I did like, I don't know, maybe have a half marathon, but like for the most part, I wasn't really doing all that much. And then I decided when I turned 40, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back to ultra and like trail stuff and whatever. And started doing all this stuff. I did a bunch of 50Ks. And then like one day my hip was like, nope, you're done. You're not doing anything. And it's been like 2 years of this, like, and I had an MRI, like literally I was actually really mad. I mean, of course, a negative MRI is amazing, but I had an MRI recently. Okay, like it literally showed nothing, not even inflammation. I'm like, am I like going crazy? Am I imagining that something's hurting? It's gotten better, to be fair, but it's just like every time I would like start to build up, it would start to hurt again. And I'm like, it's so hard to be consistent. Like not being able to be consistent with something is driving me insane.
You just like don't know when it's going to pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and you've done your due diligence. Like you got to look at.
And literally this week, like now that the kids are, cause summer's madness and it's hard to get into a routine. And like finally I had this MRI and it showed nothing and the pain was gone. And I was like, this week I was like, okay, Monday, I'm going to like finally start a strength program. I'm going to finally start to run. And then I got sick and lost my voice. I'm like, and so I just haven't done anything. I'm like, okay, well, this is clearly the universe just telling me to chill, but
just chill out.
And this is where I'm like, walking is exercise.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I've gone for my little beach walks, but yeah, so I can very much relate to that. Cause even though like I'm not like for myself, I'm not chasing PRs and that part of me is behind me. It's like, it's still, and maybe, I don't know if you can relate to this. It's still that feeling of really pushing yourself and challenging yourself. And so for me on like, let's say like I was doing like a trail 50K, like time, who cares about time for me at least, but I'm pushing myself and doing something challenging that just feels so good. Right. So it was like, that's what I miss. And I also miss the trail community because it's amazing. Or even like, I know, you emceed Big Sur Marathon last year and I saw you're doing it again, which is so fun. I've run that race twice. And the first time I ran it, a friend of mine, because I went to high school in Monterey. And so a friend of mine was putting together this relay and I'd already signed up for the marathon and was trying to like actually race that marathon, which I now look in hindsight was so stupid because that's the stupidest like course to race. It's so hard. Like, I don't know what I was thinking that I was going to, anyways. And then he finally wore me down. I was like, fine, I'll do your relay. And he signed me up for the first leg. So I was expected to sprint the first 5-6 miles, whatever it was, and then run the rest of the race. That was like the worst race of my life. I was like suffering on that race. But then the second
You like
time I ran it,
redlined the first 6 miles
red
of a
line.
marathon.
Oh yeah. Like basically everything you're not supposed to do in a marathon, right? Like, and it was one of the years where the wind was so bad, I almost got like knocked over.
I mean, is
like,
the wind always bad?
It's often bad, but this year was particularly bad. I literally like was trying not to fall over. It was so bad. And I was running by myself, so I couldn't even draft behind someone.
Yeah.
But then the second year was like, I was like floating on cloud 9 the entire time. I had my little hydration pack. I was running as like a training race for 50K. And I was just like, la-di-da, photos, you know, like it was like the most fun race ever. I loved it. So
that's the most fun way to run a marathon.
I'm glad you get to MC it because it's such a great marathon.
And it's a good one to MC too because like a lot of races, like I love staying till the very end, like getting every last finisher, even like past the official cutoff. But with Big Sur, like they got to get that road back open.
I know.
So like when you're done, you're done. I mean, things are torn down, road is open, like so it ends up being like a very precise work day. Like you're done when you're done. You know?
Yeah. And it's such like, as a runner, it's such a long day because you have to get up so freaking early to get down there because of the roads. But yeah, that's a really fun one. And also they offer lots of distances and stuff. So it's cool. And I saw your family went to Santa Cruz. Before. And I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, you're in Santa Cruz. How fun.
We're in all the things. Yeah. We tried to do all the touristy things. We went to what's it called? The mystery spot.
Yes. I need to take my girls there. I haven't gone yet with them.
And we stayed at a really cute, like, hotel. I guess it was run by Marriott, but it had a more like, it didn't feel like a Marriott, like it had like cool vibes. I don't know how to explain it, but, that was the biggest like trip we've ever taken with our kids. We did San Francisco a couple days, then we did Santa Cruz, then we went to Monterey for Big Sur. I will not be bringing them with me this year. I do not believe. It was a long trip. We were gone 9 days.
Yeah.
And like ideally I would have done it opposite, like done the work part first and then done the vacation. But it just, with my husband's work schedule, it didn't work out that way. Although it was kind of nice because then I'd been together 24/7 and I was like, peace.
Bye.
Bye. Have fun at the aquarium. I gotta go to work.
Totally.
But yeah, Santa Cruz is super cute. We went and watched people surf and we had our favorite restaurants we went to.
Ooh, which ones?
Well, there was a pizza place where they throw up the dough. We went there twice.
I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, it was. There was a woman that DM'd me everything I could possibly need to know about what to do in Santa Cruz.
Oh,
and
fun.
I took her every word and just did what she told me to do. Like she told me what bookstore to go to because I was trying to go to a fun bookstore and it was really good.
I love that. And I saw you were in the Redwoods, which is a must when you're here. It's my favorite. Redwoods are my happy place.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to take a quick break to tell you about my virtual private practice, Eat for Endurance. You might think working with a sports dietitian like me is out of reach, but I want you to know there are plenty of free and affordable resources to support you. Right now, I have 7 free nutrition downloads available on my website, eatforendurance.com, covering everything from fueling strategies to quick snack ideas. I also offer low-cost mini guides and master classes that fit your schedule on a variety of everyday and sports nutrition topics. And if you're looking for consistent support and direct access to me without the commitment or cost of one-to-one coaching, you will love my monthly nutrition membership, Fuel for Life Crew. For just $30 a month, you get access to every masterclass and resources I've ever created with new content added regularly, a supportive Slack community where you can ask me your nutrition questions and connect with a small community of busy, active people just like you. You get live Q&A calls where you get to tell me what you want to talk about with replays available so you never miss out. And best of all, there's no commitment. You can try it for a month and cancel anytime, or you can get a big discount if you join for 3, 6, or 12 months at a time. Visit eatforendurance.com to grab your free downloads, explore my low-cost resources, sign up for my membership, or learn more about my one-to-one nutrition coaching services. All right, let's get back to the episode. I want to talk about your surgeries. I think the way I like to think about it is, these big transitions. So, you had the double mastectomy, as you said, when you were 30. right after having your first son. You had 3 more kids. You had the hysterectomy and removal of your ovaries and tubes. And as I was saying before, that is just like so much like physical trauma on your body. And of course, emotional turmoil from that. And, like, so I'm kind of curious how you navigated all these different times in your life. And I know this is a really big question, but particularly from the standpoint of like recovery. So I'm kind of curious, kind of navigating healing yourself, whether that's physically, emotionally, kind of. And, they're all very different circumstances, obviously. It's very different to have like a double mastectomy and having your child. Like those are different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe we can start with just like motherhood, childbirth. And I'm sure each of your 4 childbirths were very different.
Yeah.
But maybe navigating kind of your changing body, returning to some semblance of yourself.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me with all of those is like the finality of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like these big life changes make everything feel really final and like also amplifies like, oh, I'm given this one body and this one life. And
yeah,
I think with the hysterectomy specifically, which I had 2 years ago, I struggled with that so much because I was like, this is it. Like the body that gave me all these babies, like this is a totally new place I'm headed. And everything just felt so final. And that was really hard for me. Physically, I think the recovery from the mastectomy was probably the biggest recovery of all. I had a C-section with my first baby. And so, and then I had 3 VBACs. So I had vaginal birth for the other 3. So the C-section surgery was big too. But with all of the surgeries, I feel like it's similar to like I'm just refueling my body. I'm just putting myself back together. And when we talk about like nutrition and what I'm eating, I know that like the most nutrient dense foods are going to like help me heal the best.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, as far as nutrition goes, that's what I would focus on.
Yeah.
But I think the emotional side of all of those things was far harder than the physical side.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're someone who's used to being really active and then you have to take all that time off. You've like trained your brain to rely on the endorphins of that physical exercise, and not having that available to you is like, it almost makes you feel a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned being a creative person.
Yeah.
And I know you love to read. Were you kind of leaning heavily on other kind of tools or hobbies or things that to kind of, I mean, not that you could fill that void in the same way, but to kind of take up that space?
Yeah. I mean, I think like a lot of times I'll lean into work, like lean into working more, like podcasting, definitely reading, like read a ton. I mean, after my 4th baby, I was like, I'm putting a TV in my room.
Yeah, totally.
And we did that. I was like, I just want to be on like my maternity break with him and like hold him and just be able to lay in my bed and watch TV. And then we moved in our room. Like you can't fit a TV in there. It's too small. So we don't have one anymore. But yeah, I think the emotional side, I think when I look back, I'm like I remember when I was so upset before my hysterectomy, I just like I didn't even want to tell anybody about it. Cause to me, I felt like, oh, this is like final and I feel old. And I felt like this like irrelevance. Why? I don't know. And so I kind of like kept it in for a long time. And then I had it and I felt fine. Like I felt almost like the emotional baggage was like worse before I had the surgery. And then I had it. And I was still like walking through those feelings, but it was done.
Yeah. And just for anyone who doesn't know, this was a preventative surgery, right?
Yeah. I have the BRCA2 gene mutation, and you have an 86% chance of breast cancer in your lifetime when you have that. And then you have like, it's like I think it's like 45% for ovarian. But as we all know, like ovarian cancer is like much harder to screen for. And a lot of times you find it later stages. I was getting like preventative care for that for a long time. I was getting like transvaginal ultrasounds on my ovaries every 6 months, blood work, all that. And I was just done doing that. Like I was so done with the anxiety of every 6 months going for those appointments and getting the ultrasound and then being nervous about my blood work. And my doctors had always kind of said, hey, 40 is probably a good age to go ahead and preventatively do it. I think there's a lot of other schools of thoughts though, like with hormones. Like, hey, if you're not an anxious person and you're monitoring this very closely on a regular basis, maybe wait till you're a little bit closer to menopause to do it. But to me, it just like, I had like a false positive high blood test.
Oh,
and
that's hard.
I just was like losing my mind for a week. And I was like, I don't ever want to go through that again if I don't have to. So we did end up scheduling this. I had the surgery right before I turned 40. I was 39 still. And I still get sad sometimes. Like if I see a woman that's like my age-ish and she's pregnant, I'm like, oh, like.
Is it nostalgia? Like, did you want a fifth child, or is it just like kind of a nostalgia thing, or just what do you think it is?
I think I would have had a fifth child if I wasn't struggling with like health anxieties. Like I've always been scared about health stuff. I've always been really scared about cancer and things like that. And I think if I wasn't scared about that and that didn't like eat away at me anxiety wise, I 100% would have had one more.
Got it. Okay.
And so sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, oh, you gave into that, But yeah, so I don't even know where I'm going with that. I guess it's the fact that it's like an ongoing thing that I reconcile with. Like you made that choice, and anyway, you're 42 now, so like you maybe it's time to be done having babies, but like you just have that like I think. As a woman, you just have the like, it's over, like that part is done. And I still wrestle with that a little bit, which I know so many of my friends are like, are you freaking kidding me?
I'm like I'm like 4 boys and I know like, your house is like chaos all the time. And I'm just like, wow, you still want to bring a fifth. You're nuts. No,
well, I think it's because I'm like, it's already chaotic.
It's already chaotic. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. My mom's always like, yeah. And then the kids just start taking care of each other. I'm like, what? Do they though? I don't know about that.
Well, in my house, they just start beating the crap out of each other.
Yes.
I mean, there are sweet things you catch, but like you catch them doing, but.
Yeah. It's different. I have 2 girls, which it's like a whole different dynamic, but I feel like they're either absolute best friends or they're literally trying to kill each other physically. So they too are also trying to like rip each other to shreds.
Yeah.
Or it's the whine. I don't know. I guess they're all whining, but it's.
I mean, I was physical with my sisters. I remember we would fight. Yeah. I was the physical one. So I'm like, I know it happens with girls too, for sure.
Oh yeah, girls are crazy. I am very scared of when they're teenagers because I feel like they're already teenagers in their own way, and it's like this is gonna be real fun because they're gonna gang up on us. But yeah, so I'm curious about like. We're talking about kind of emotionally how hard it was. And, what advice would you give to other athletes or really anyone experiencing similar transitions, whether they're literally getting a double mastectomy or a hysterectomy, like a similar type of procedure, or they're having a child, or maybe it's something else. But yeah, I don't know. What kind of helped you get through it? I don't know if you had kind of different forms of self-care or, I don't know.
I think that one thing for me is I've always tried to make sure that like my identity is not like revolved around that thing, right? Like, oh, I'm getting the mastectomy, but I don't need to join all these like groups for people that are going through it. And like, that's got to be like a part of my story. It is a part of my story, but like none of that like defines my daily life or like, other things. And so I think for me, making sure that I like separated that and like, it's a thing that I've gone through and that I will have to kind of like emotionally deal with from time to time. But like, that's not going to be what I like talk about all the time or obsess about or read about all the time. And I just think like, like in anything in life, I mean, even this week, I've been like, the kids go back to school. So I've been feeling a certain kind of way. I've been feeling weird. I've been feeling overwhelmed with our schedules and like a little bit sorry for myself, even though everything's great, like
Yeah.
we have a good life. But I find when I start feeling like that, and I say that because when we have injuries and like are coming out of surgery and things like that, like you get a little like, woe is me, you feel bad. I always like take a minute to reach out to like other people in my life and check on them, because I know that sounds kind of corny, but I really truly do that. Like if I'm having like a day where I'm just feeling like crap and feeling sorry for myself and wondering, where are my people? Why aren't people checking on me? I just do that for someone else, because it's one thing I can control. I can't control like if people are going to reach out to me or like sense that I'm having an off week or whatever, but I can control checking in on them. So those are the kinds of things that I try to do when I'm feeling like, when I'm having a pity party for myself.
Do you feel like, and I mean, and maybe this changes from like one situation to the next, but like when you're really like having a hard time, do you want to talk to people? Do you want your friends to be reaching out and you want to like talk to them? Or are you kind of just like, I don't want to talk about it? Like, where do you fall?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Cause sometimes, cause it's draining to talk about it. Right.
Yeah.
And also when it's something that feels trivial, but sometimes you just like need a good cry. Like
yeah.
I was getting my acupuncture last week and I had been anxious. I don't even know. I mean, I got my mammogram last week. Like maybe I still get those because even though I had things removed, I have like a little bit of tissue left behind.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Kept my nipples.
Got it. Okay.
So once I hit 40, I just started getting mammograms like everybody else does. But I'm sure that was a underlying thing. Kids are going back to school, transition there. But like I have this like thing where I like mess with my thumb. I bite the skin. It's like an anxiety thing. And I was getting my acupuncture and the guy was like, messing with my legs because I get it for my feet and stuff. And he's like, what's going on? I noticed you're like messing with your thumb. And I was like, oh my gosh, he noticed. And, I kind of just gave him a brief explanation, but then he walked out and you get like 40 minutes where you just lay there in the quiet with the acupuncture.
Yeah. 40 minutes. Wow. I feel like when I got it, it was like 20 minutes, but that's nice. Okay.
I don't know how long. I think it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that long.
It's like a little nap.
But I mean, I just like started like not crying, like sobbing, but like tears just started rolling down my face because I was like, oh, he saw me. Like even though it wasn't some big, huge thing, like I had feelings and he like saw that about me. And I think that felt, I don't know, I just felt seen.
Yeah. So it's funny you say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so I think the answer is like a mixed bag. Like maybe sometimes I'd want to talk about it, or maybe sometimes I just want a friend to be like, hey, let's go do something fun,
Yeah. I was just going to say, it's funny that he noticed your thumb and that was like a good thing for you. So I have a lifelong terrible nail biting habit. Like it's so bad. And I've had times in my life where I've grown them out and I like was able to get manicures and I was just like, oh, this is amazing. And it's been like, even for periods of years. And then then at one point it'll just like, I'll fall back in like I'm in right now where I can't stop again. And it's like this, like literally, I think I've been biting my nails since I was like a toddler. And my 5-year-old has also been doing that, which I feel so guilty about because I feel like I passed it on somehow. Yeah. It's like this genetic thing in my, like the women in my family or something. It's like an anxiety thing. Yeah. And it's like, I'm like, I don't want anyone to see my nails because I'm like so embarrassed about it.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, I don't know. But
I get embarrassed too. Like this thing on my thumb, it like bleeds sometimes because I like pick it. And I read in a book, it was like Annabelle Monaghan book, a regular book. And the character in the book said something about like pulling the skin back and like the little bit of pain that you have.
Yeah.
It's a distraction. And I was like, that's why I'm doing that. That little bit of pain that I feel
is like a little nervous habit.
It's a distraction from whatever I'm not wanting to deal with in my brain. I'm like, that's because it feels kind of good because you're like, I don't know. There's some obsessive compulsive or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure
totally.
that the psychiatrist would have a heyday with my brain with all that. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt seen when my acupuncturist said that. Now, if I'm in a social setting and I'm like
Sure. Yeah.
shaking hands,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I hope they don't notice my hands. Like, I'm
Yeah.
very self-conscious of that
Yeah.
way, but
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. But yeah, I mean, I feel like when I'm having a really down day or I'm feeling very anxious, it's like, or like, I see a therapist or whatever, and it's like, I almost am just like, this feels like so much work. Like I have
So
an older
much work.
sister that I'm super close to, and she wants to talk, or she's like, oh, do you need to talk? And I'm just like, I don't want to talk. Like, I know I probably should talk.
Yeah. There's so much
I'm like, I'd rather go for a walk and listen to some music, or like it just seems like so much work
it's exhausting.
yeah. So that's what prompted me to ask that question. Because I know for myself,
Totally.
sometimes I really like when I'm in the mood to talk, but like sometimes I just can't. I don't know. I can't do that, and I don't know. And I'm sure I know like we're kind of going off topic with all the stuff with nutrition, but like I kind of also link it back to nutrition with some people kind of numbing themselves through food
Oh, yeah.
or
For sure.
comforting themselves and
I
you know,
do
and
that.
emotional eating, like that's something that I always tell people, like that's part of life and it's fine. It's just, is that the only thing you're doing? Like we don't want to always be going that
Yeah.
route, but
I'm glad you
any
said
food.
that because that makes me feel better because I don't like that
Yeah.
I do that, but like I do that.
Well, you know what I tell people? Like, we are human beings. We are always feeling emotions and we are frequently eating. So you will always be feeling emotions while eating. You know what I mean? So like those will always go hand in hand. And I think there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with like, you know, like we use food to celebrate, you know, whether it's positive emotion, we use food to mourn, to grieve, to soothe ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, obviously, when taken to an extreme or done too frequently, and that's the only thing you're relying on, then that's problematic.
Yeah.
Obviously, just the same thing with exercise. Like, exercise is obviously a stress reliever. It makes you feel good. But I have people who only rely on exercise and then they can go into overexercise and hurt themselves or it can become an unhealthy behavior. So that's why we need all these different tools to kind of rely on, whether it's reading music, friends, whatever, talking to people. That's why I always tell people we need this wide variety of things, because maybe you already did your workout that day and you're not in the mood to talk to your friend and
Mhm.
you don't want to take another shower or whatever, you know, like you just finished your favorite book or whatever, you know, it's like we have to have various things we can kind of turn to, because it might not just be like, maybe you're at work and you can't do the thing. So that's why I always encourage people to kind of brainstorm, like when they're not in that moment where they really need it, so that they can kind of, you know, have things in their back pocket.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do it most when it's like at like 4 or 5 when everybody starts going crazy and I'm like, just
Yeah.
stuff some chips in my mouth or something like that.
Yeah.
And if I would just like remove myself from the kitchen, I'd be fine. But
Yeah.
that's interesting that we do that like as a form of stress relief, even though it's probably actually making me feel worse.
Yeah. Yeah. In some cases. I want to return to kind of the parenting piece for a minute, because, you know, as parents or caregivers, or again, even just as an adult in this modern life we lead, you know, everyone's juggling so many things. And, you know, I feel like we have this like fallacy of balance, and balance doesn't really exist. It's just like, what are you prioritizing today kind of thing. And I know it's particularly hard when you're running your own business, like you are, like I am, and you're, you know, a mother, and just like so much going on. And so I'm kind of curious, like how you handle really busy days when something has to give, because, you know, movement is so important, you know, and I have a lot of listeners. I'd say the bulk of my listeners are athletes, endurance athletes. And so they might be training for something, or maybe just movement is an important part of their life. And so they don't want to give that thing up. They want to make it happen. But
Yeah.
obviously their work has to happen and caregiving has to happen. And so, yeah, it's like, what do you prioritize and what do you end up shoving to the side? I'm sure it looks different different days, but I'm just kind of curious what comes to mind on that topic.
I would say what I shove aside first is probably, that's a good question. If it's not on my calendar and I don't have a deadline, I will shove work aside.
Good for you. That's good.
Yeah, which is why it's good to have things on my calendar and have deadlines.
Yeah.
And once I give up the exercising piece, like once I've committed to that, that's not happening for the day, I go all in. I'm like, go do your shower now. because that's the signifying thing that like we've moved on from the hope of the workout happening. I think that's helpful too. Like, don't like hold on to like, maybe it's going to happen because that just stresses me out. And so then I go on my day, shower, act like I checked that box already, moving on. And if it ends up happening, fine. But like if it doesn't, I'm showered for the day and I'm feeling good. We're really struggling right now trying to figure out how to do dinners because now my older son has like moved up a level in soccer and he's 3 days a week practice until 8 p.m. And
that's so tough.
Yeah. Like last night, one of my sons had soccer from 5:30 to 7, the other one 6:30 to 8. And then the other two boys were home. And we're like, how do we do this? Like who eats when? And like I fed my little boys at 6:15 or 6:30. I fed my second oldest at 7:30. And then my oldest got home and he ate at 8:30. And I ate in between somewhere. And then my husband ate when he got home from bringing him home from practice. So we are trying to figure out. That's the thing, though. I think that like you said, there's this like, what is balance? I mean, the second you try to say like, I have it all figured out, like you are living so rigidly that there's no room for flexibility. And like, I can't live like that. I will go crazy.
Also, it's like saying like, we're all healthy right now. It's like, oh, tomorrow you'll all get sick. Like I will not utter the words, I have it figured out, because number one, it's always false. Like no one has it all figured out. And number two, like a bomb will drop tomorrow. Just wait.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I mean, I've been saying for 12 years that I want to like figure out how to do dinners, and like, we're still trying to figure that out, So
yeah. I think it's hard when you have sports. Sports, like, I mean, we're not at that stage yet, but my youngest did soccer last year, but it was, 5 years or 4 or 5 years old. So it was like, Wednesday, it was like from 4 to 5 after school and then one Saturday. And even that for me, I was just like, oh, I hate not having like my full weekend. And all my older friends with older kids were like, just you wait. And I didn't grow up doing team sports, so I just never really did that. But everyone's like, no, team sports is so important. So this year I was like, let's do soccer. And she didn't want to. And I decided not to push her because it's like, it's still like more things, but I don't know. I feel like more like there's more and more activities and it's like your schedule fills up, and I'm trying to just like, while they're still relatively young, just like cherish this time where I don't have to juggle, because it sounds really rough. Because like, when do you do homework? Like, when do you sleep? Like, you need all this sleep. Like 13, you have homework, you need sleep, you need to eat. Like, how does that work?
I waited a long time too. I mean, I think I waited a long time. I was never the mom with like 4-year-olds in soccer,
Yeah.
You know what? My kids don't have homework.
Really? Amazing.
Yeah. I know. Even my middle schooler, he has stuff that he has to do and he gets it done at school.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, I don't know if that's going to change next year. He's in 7th grade this year, but I've never had a kid with homework. Isn't that crazy?
That's cool. Is that like a Raleigh thing? Like
school they go to? I don't know. It's
public school or private school?
Yeah, we go to public school. If they were in private, cool. we'd have homework for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that they've all like they've had things they need to do, and then they just do it at school. But I'm actually really for this because I'm like when you go to work as an adult, when you come home from work, you can be done with work. And I don't want them to have this like mindset of like constantly. So yeah, it's good that we haven't had to do that yet. So yeah.
Good. That's awesome. But that still doesn't solve the problem of dinner, which I feel like is, I swear, every parent, we talk about this. Like it's so hard. And then when you add on to like when I'm working with my client, like I'm always trying to understand what I call like their life landscape. So it's, I want to know like, does your husband eat something different, or partner, what about your kids? Like what's going on? Because I work with men and women. So I know what's going on with like the family and eating and schedules. And it's like, anytime there's like sports, travel, whatever teams, like, work schedules, everyone's eating at a different time. This person doesn't eat this. Like, it makes it really hard to work on your own nutrition. And so we're trying to navigate like, okay, well, how can we best support you, but within the context of your family? And it's very stressful for a parent too, when you're trying to kind of figure out, well, what's for dinner? And for me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to people all day about what's for their dinner. I do not want to talk about what's for dinner. So my husband's like, what's for dinner? I'm like, don't talk to me. I don't care. Just let's get pizza. Let's get pizza. I do not care. I can't deal with this.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm usually gung ho in the morning. And then by the time 5 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, oh, I had such high expectations about what I was going to do here.
What I've realized is and we were resisting this for a long time, but then we realized it's like the only way it's going to work. Because I was basically like flying by the seat of my pants every day at 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh crap. I was like finishing up work. I'm like, crap. I have to start dinner. They're coming home in 5 minutes and they're going to be starving. And I'm like, what's for dinner? So every on Sunday night, and we haven't been consistent. We were like, okay, let's just make like a very loose map of what is roughly for dinner. Right. Like taco night, pasta with this. And that way, let's just very loosely, let's just commit to it right now. And then sometimes we move things around. And then when you have people on different schedules, that's where it can become tricky. But you know what? You could, I guess, in theory, still have cool, we made this dinner. We're still having taco bowls. You guys just take what you want, heat it up, put it together. It's in the fridge, ready to go.
This is it. Yeah.
What I always love is, can you make the protein, whether it's plant-based or not, and then whatever the starch is, some sort of grain or whatever, and then people just throw the things together. Can that at least be prepped, and then you can put the rest together pretty quickly. Right. So that's something that has worked for my family and for other people, where it's it's in the fridge, and then when they're older kids, they can kind of help themselves. I don't know.
Totally. Yeah. We make my husband always makes a bunch of burritos for the week.
Perfect.
Right. And so they can be grabbed to put in lunches. They can be a last minute dinner. If dinner's crazy and we don't have time, just put those in the oven and they're just wrapped in foil.
Yeah. Love it.
Pretty much every Sunday he makes 8 burritos, and that can be an option for anybody at any time.
Yeah. I love that. And then also another thing is just buy all the shortcuts you possibly can. Get the pre-marinated chicken at Trader Joe's, or get the pre-cut broccoli or whatever it is, the frozen rice that you can heat up in 3 minutes because you can't be bothered to cook it on the stove. Just do all that stuff.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Do what you need.
I know. One time I heard a podcast with this mom of 4 boys who her kids were grown them. And she said something about how processed food was a godsend raising her boys. And I try to keep the processed food a little bit minimal, but man, there are days where I'm thank God that we have that available to us, because it's so easy. And I don't, I try to be natural and healthy and all those things, but I don't need to be a hero here.
I joke that my daughter's lunchbox, the younger one, it's like a cracker tasting.
Yeah,
so it's just I have one with all these little different containers. It's goldfish and pretzels and graham crackers. And I'm just well, it's calories. It's a couple fruits.
My number 3, my kids for the most part will pack their own lunches, and I'll look at them.
Oh, amazing!
But I looked in his lunchbox today, and it was crackers, Dots pretzels, and 2 tangerines, and I was cuties, and I was okay, there's literally no protein in this. And then he goes and looks at the packages, and he's there is protein. There's 2 grams of protein in my crackers. I don't even. Oh, I added sliced up cheese, because I said,
wish she would eat cheese. Oh,
I tried to give him slices of white cheese, and he won't eat white cheese. He thinks white cheese is gross. So I had orange cheese, and I sliced it up.
Okay.
But I stopped trying to put carrots in any sort of vegetable in my kids' lunches, because they would always just get thrown out. And I'm because once that has gone to school, you better believe I'm not eating it.
No.
And I was just I'm sending these carrots just so that the teachers don't think I'm a bad
I couldn't
mom,
care less what my teacher thinks.
I'm like,
But yes,
nobody.
so like we know that exposure is important, and so like once in a while, and I don't do this with lunch. I try to do it at dinner, but I'll put like the tiniest little tiny thing somewhere in the lunch or on the dinner plate or whatever. And normally, if she doesn't like kick it off her plate, I'm like, cool. And once in a while, she'll try it. So I'm like, yeah, okay.
I will say sometimes I will put one little carrot, just one.
Yeah, there you go.
That I've cut
up. It's also wasteful.
Yes, and then I'm like, because then maybe they will take a bite. And my number 2 though, he'll eat almost anything.
Ugh,
he'll eat almost anything. Like he's got like hummus and edamame and like all this. His lunch, his food. I'm like, you are like the most well-fueled, like nutrient dense eater I've for a 10-year-old.
Fantastic. At least there's one of them.
one of 4.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 25%. Here we go.
So wait, so are you still playing pickleball right now? I know you're like a big pickleball player, and
yeah,
I have not myself played yet, but I'm very curious.
So yeah, it's a learning curve. So you should go play. I mean, it's a little bit frustrating at first while you're like picking it up, but then once you get the hang of it, it's so fun. I actually haven't played in like 3 or 4 weeks just because things have been busy and I haven't gotten up to the park. Actually, so nice out today, so maybe I'll try to sneak up there. I love it. It's so fun, and it's not. You're not getting the same kind of satisfaction that you get out of running, like endorphin wise, but like I'm always smiling when I'm playing pickleball. I'm always happy. So
is it not as active? Like I guess it's kind of like bursts of activity.
Yeah,
right?
It's bursts, and it depends on who you're playing, how intense the game is, things like that. The courts are pretty small, so you're like, I would say you're probably getting a much better workout if you're playing like tennis, you know.
But you're out there for a long time, right? Like usually, like if you're playing pickleball, it can be like multiple hours. Is that right?
Yeah, it can be. It just depends on how long you go. Like I'll go down to the public park here, and you put your paddle in, and you wait your turn. You play a game, and then you get back in. Depends on how busy it is. But it's so fun. You should definitely try it.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I asked too because, like, thinking about rest days for my running or other athlete clients, and it's like they're like, and then I was at the pickleball courts for 3 hours, and I'm like, okay, and did you eat anything? No. I'm like, that's 3 hours of it's still activity.
You're moving.
So and so it's one of the things I'm always interested in is like the culture of sport when it comes to feeling like there are all these different things with like swimming versus climbing versus running, and it's like every sport has its kind of different culture around nutrition and just other things, right? So I feel like pickleball sometimes obviously depends on how intense a player you are, but I can see it being this very laid back kind of like, whatever. I just have my water bottle, and and it's been like 5 hours since I've like done anything. You
gotta take their granola bar to pickleball.
Yeah, so you gotta take some snacks, maybe some electrolytes if it's really hot out, or sports drink if you're sweating, and so I'm always like encouraging people like whatever it is you're doing, even if you're going for a really long walk, it's like you always got to think about the feeling stuff,
Yeah. I mean, I would consider the way I play pickleball an active rest day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I would. Because I'm not like it. Now, if you're out there for hours on end and you're playing like really intense matches, but like if you're like kind of like a medium level player and you're not like super intense about it, I would definitely call it like active rest.
Okay. Good to know.
But I can see how maybe people depends on where you're coming from, right? Depends on what your baseline is.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, pack your snacks, man.
Yeah. Well, I know I've kept you so long, so we'll wrap this up with my quick bites questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite post-race meal or snack, or post-workout meal or snack?
Well, if it's post-race, I would say like I always love pizza. Post-workout, I love a good smoothie, honestly. I'm addicted to this smoothie at this place here in Raleigh called Juice Keys. And I had to like make myself not go get one today because I got one the last 2 days after my workouts, and they're like $11.
Oh God. Yeah.
And
I was so like, expensive.
I was like, Lindsay, you are like, it's a treat I'll give myself like once or twice a week, but like, I'm like, you've already done it 2 days this week.
Can you recreate it at home?
Yeah, we can. And I don't know. This one that I have, it's like, I think it's called chocolate covered banana.
Ooh, yum.
The banana flavor is really strong, but somehow they have the chocolate in there is like little tiny chunk, like little tiny
Ooh.
bits that you get when you
Yeah.
suck it up. And I'm like, how do I make it so that I get those little tiny bits in my?
Are they putting like an actual piece of chocolate in there?
I don't know.
I bet you could ask. You could like totally poach
Like,
that recipe.
yeah, it's so good. And it's like a very like, I would say like health conscious place that I'm getting it. Like they use good high quality ingredients.
Yeah.
So I always feel good about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I would say like a really good smoothie.
So, okay. So that's your challenge is you're going to basically be like, hey, like, I'm so curious. How do you get the chocolate? And just look at that information and then you can recreate it.
That's the piece that I can't recreate.
Yeah.
We do make smoothies here.
Yeah.
Actually, we make smoothies like every day because my kids all love smoothies. I feel like a really good mom when my kids eat a smoothie. And
my girls won't drink smoothies anymore. They did when they were little. And I'm like, that would have been the perfect way.
So good.
They do. The only way my youngest gets a vegetable in is like a muffin with shredded carrot. That's it. But whatever. It's okay.
See? And she's fine. She's okay.
Yeah, exactly. What has been your worst race nutrition experience? We didn't really get into your 17 marathons, but I'm sure there were some moments where maybe things went awry. I don't know.
I think that the worst is just when you have to like have a bathroom in the middle of a race.
Yeah.
I hate having to do that.
Did you have like kind of stomach troubles in races before?
Yeah, I think I have a overactive GI when I'm racing. I've been known to slip an Imodium before a marathon. I know.
Oh no, you're one of those.
Yeah. I know the dietitians probably don't love that.
Yeah, I don't love it, but
But it works. It stops me.
It does.
And then I'm like the next day I can go to the bathroom just fine. So
oh really? Okay.
It doesn't like stop me up for days on end.
Okay, well, that's good at least.
But I've never had like a bad because of the Imodium. I think. If I didn't take it, I'd probably be in some trouble many times.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
But yeah, I haven't had any like crazy bad situations in that regard.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
How do you like your eggs cooked if you eat eggs?
Oh, I have eggs every morning almost.
You have chickens. Oh my God, I forgot to ask about your chickens. I'm so jealous. I want chickens.
You should just get them. Just do it.
I know. We have a rental property, so it's like one of those things where it's like, if you have a rental, like going to the trouble of starting up a coop, and we rent our house.
You rent your house. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, because I know it's a lot of work to get it set up.
It is.
Had I known 4 years ago, because we've been here for 4 years now, I probably would have done it 4 years ago.
That you were staying that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an expense to get it set up too. I mean, you can go with like a smaller coop and not like I did like a bigger coop, and all of that was kind of a big to do. But now that we have everything and it's all set up, it's super easy.
I'm so tempted.
It's the setup is a lot, and then like figuring things out. But now it's like literally we go collect eggs every evening, and
it's my dream.
At like 5 every day, I just let them out because they stay in their coop, and we have this extended run. And then at like 5 every evening, we just let them out, and they free range the yard until bedtime. And when it gets dark, they just put themselves away, and we close the door, and that's that.
It's amazing. That's so cool.
And then we clean it out
we
clean it out like once a month or something like that. Or, like I think some people would clean it out more, but we don't.
So you have fresh eggs, and how do you like those cooked?
Over medium.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is your favorite beverage?
Oh, I love an Olipop.
Yeah. I have not actually. Did I even try it? I don't think I've tried that one, but I think I haven't tried it because I don't like stevia taste, because it's like it's a stevia sweetened thing. Right?
I don't like the poppy.
Oh, or poppy too.
I don't like poppies. There's like a specific taste that it has, like it's almost like I can like taste the vitamin in it or something. But Olipop, I don't taste that. And my favorite Olipop flavors are root beer and grape.
Okay. I have to try because I know people are obsessed.
I love a drink though. Like I love making a latte every afternoon. I love a cocktail. I love if I'm talking cocktails, I love a Paloma.
That's the grapefruit one, right?
Yeah. Grapefruit tequila. Yeah. That's my go-to spirit tequila.
Nice.
And yeah, I feel like I revolve my day around what I'm having to drink.
That's not a bad thing.
I have some Tailwind in this.
Nice.
Yeah. this
What
water.
Tailwind flavor do you like?
Oh, I love a grape.
Yeah, I like their grape.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
It reminds me of like a freeze pop in the summer.
Yeah. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
What are your favorite comfort foods?
Pizza, Mexican, ice cream.
All good options. All right, last question. Top 3 items of gear that are most important for your active lifestyle.
My running shoes, a good pair of shorts, and a sports bra.
Good answers.
That's all you need.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Lindsey. This was so much fun getting to know you and having you on the show. Where can everyone find you if they want to give you a follow?
So my Instagram is Lindsey Hein 626, and my website is lindseyhein.com. And then you can find my podcast where I interview professional runners. It's called I'll Have Another with Lindsey Hein.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsey. Have a good one.
Thank you.
That's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would love it if you shared it with a friend or on social media and leave a 5-star rating and review. And of course, you can hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. If you'd like to support my free content, you can check out my affiliate codes on the shop page of eatforendurance.com, or you can visit my Patreon page. Both are linked in the show notes. If you've already grabbed some of my free resources and want more consistent support, consider joining the Fuel for Life crew at eatforendurance.com for just $30 a month. And finally, I always love hearing from you, whether it's feedback, topic requests, or just to say hi. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you all next time.